All right, a hater's perspective on y'all boy. This is y'all man's Drake. So basically my introduction to Drake was probably like 2009, my introduction to his music. I didn't watch Degrassi, so I didn't know about Wheelchair Jimmy and all this. One of my friends played a Drake song. It was one of those songs from that era where the rapper would rap over someone else's beat. When I heard the song, I thought it was like a parody. I thought it was a parody song. You guys know like Weird Al Yankovic, how he'll parody popular songs from the radio and he'll make it into a joke. I thought it was a parody song. A guy doing an imitation or a mockery of a rapper. I can't remember which Drake song it was, but that was my first experience with Drake. Over the years though, I've got some Drake songs that I like, but I would say the vast majority, I would say like 80% of Drake's music, I don't care for at all. I don't like it. I don't relate to it. Like the vulnerabilities that Drake puts in his music. Obviously, we all deal with women, but the way Drake deals with women, I don't recognize his experiences in that way. Now, compare that to someone like A Boogie, who also raps about women. When A Boogie says, I was a savage to you, I had to give up and put all my hoes to the side. I swear if I ever left you in the cold, it's cause it was colder inside. Look, and I swear if you ever try to leave me alone, I hope you don't turn to a thought. Like, I can relate to that. Like, I really, you know what I mean? I've been in situations with chicks where it's like, yo, I can't mess with you no more, but please don't turn to a thought, you know? Keep being the sweet girl that I once knew. You're not for me, but yo. So I can relate to that. But when Drake goes like, why you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake? You know I love to go there. You took my, you went to CVS in my Bugatti. I tried to take the keys and hide it so you don't drive it and put on mileage. I don't relate to shit like that. Shorty went to CVS to buy some Kotex, some tampons, and you mad because she went in your car and she's running up the mileage, then you hit the keys from her. It's like, I just don't relate to that. Even like on a super nuanced level, if I don't want, say I'm with a chick and I don't want her driving my car, bro, I'm not gonna hide the keys. I'm gonna just tell you, don't drive my car, period. You know what I mean? And if you break that, if you don't listen to that, you decide you wanna drive it, you know, and go against what I said, then you up out of there, you know, you up out of here. So, you know, Drake is gonna hide the keys and all this. Or even just a chick, she needs to go to CVS to get some tampons, bro. Take the car, I don't care. Matter of fact, I'll go. I'm gonna go get me some kombucha while I'm over there. You know, you know what I mean? So I just don't relate to that. Or when Drake, when he goes, yo, I'm going on a song called Lord Knows. Yo, I'm going through her phone when she go to the bathroom, cause I don't trust these hoes at all. Like, I don't think I've ever went through a girl's phone, ever. Especially not when she go to the bathroom, like you sneaking, she go to the bathroom, you're like, scrolling through, like, come on, bro. So yeah, I just don't relate. But y'all also gotta remember, when Drake first came out, 2009, 2010, she was extremely popular. Lil Wayne was the most popular rapper at the time, and Drake came up right under Lil Wayne. He basically had the Lil Wayne cosign. There was really no way to mess that up. There were very few ways to mess that up. Like, you're pretty much destined for greatness. You're up under Wayne in that era. But I really didn't like that crew as a whole. I didn't like Wayne, Nicki. I liked Nicki before, like when she was with Gucci Mane. But when she got with Young Money, I kind of feel like her music got worse, her lyrics got worse. I wouldn't say her music, because there are some songs on the Pink Friday album that I liked, but I think her lyrics got worse. And then Drake, I just, you know. You just gotta remember, when y'all was listening to that stuff, when y'all was listening to Young Money and, you know, Gutta Gutta and all this, I was listening to like Kendrick, 2009, 2010 Kendrick, J. Cole, Currency, Freddie Gibbs, like, everybody you know and love today, when they had first got popular back then, which is that era, 2009, 10, 11, that's what I'm listening to. And I'm coming off listening to dudes like Lupe, Mos Def. So for me to go and hear Drake, it's just not impressive. And also around that time, I was a lot younger, so I'm discovering a lot of music that's new to me. Not necessarily new music, but I'm discovering music that I hadn't heard before. So around that time, I'm listening to Illmatic for the first time in full. I'm listening to Lil Brother, Elzhi, you know what I mean? So for me in that era to come and hear Drake on a song like Brand New or, you know, Me and Wayne is like Boston Red Sox. Did Drake actually say that? Boston Red Sox. I think this is a meme back in the day. Okay, thank God. Thank God he didn't actually say that. But yeah, for me to go and hear Drake, and I'm already not a fan of Young Money, it just wasn't something I was trying to listen to. But I will say, over the years, there have been Drake songs that I like. Remember earlier, I said 80% of Drake's music, I don't like it, and I don't relate to it. But there is that 20% that is tolerable to me. So let's talk about that 20%. So this was the first Drake album that I liked. I went back and listened to the mixtapes, of course, by Drake, Room for Improvement, Comeback Season, So Far Gone. So Far Gone I didn't like. Comeback Season, at the time, that was more like what I would listen to. It's like Drake in his backpack rap days. But even then, as an underground backpack type rapper, he still wasn't as good as the guys I would normally listen to. So it's not like I would prefer him, you know what I mean? But it was more the style that I listened to at the time. But Take Care is the first Drake album I actually liked. And you'll notice, like, the Drake albums that I really like are the albums that are known to have heavy ghostwriting. Or not ghostwriting, because, I mean, ghostwriting means you have a writer and they're not listed in the credits. That's where the ghost part comes. They're invisible, they're not there almost. This album isn't known to have ghostwriters, but it is known to have been written largely, a large portion, let's say at least 25, 30% of the songs feature this man as a writer, Abel Tesfaye, AKA The Weeknd. So you'll notice the Drake albums that I like, this is like a reoccurring thing. Before I get into this album, I do want to talk about the rollout, because this rollout is what completely changed. I wouldn't say it completely changed, but it altered my perspective of Drake. Because again, remember, after Thank Me Later, after the So Far Gone mixtapes, it's the Young Money era, blog era, I was the furthest thing from enjoying Drake music that you could possibly get as a young person at the time. Everyone loved Drake and Wayne. I was like the complete opposite. But the rollout to Take Care altered. It was like the first time I really enjoyed his music. This was one of the songs that was involved in the rollout. Free Spirit by Drake. It's featuring Rick Ross. Tap my fucking name on you so I know it's real. I thought this was a great song. Great song. There was another song, which I think, to this day, this is my favorite Drake song, Trust Issues. And in this song, Drake uses parts of the hook that he would feature on the song I'm On One. He features it on here. This is a great song. Awesome song. Dare I say, perfect song. This is a 5-star song. This is also in the rollout to Take Care. This actually wasn't on any album, which, you know, I'm kind of perplexed by. I guess it was on Care Package. I don't really listen to Drake's music like this anymore. What's a compilation album? Okay, Trust Issues is on there. Should have been on the album. This is the first Drake song I loved. And then also, what was that song? Made Men. If I'm not mistaken, this also came out in the rollout. Drake had a couple songs with Rick Ross in the rollout to Take Care. And also Stay Scheming, which I think was Drake's best verse up until this point. This is his best verse. And this is a Rick Ross song, but it's featuring Drake. So this is where I really start to be like, yo, really looking at hearing his music and actually enjoying it. But at the same time, I remember during this period, during this era, during this exact time, the rollout to Take Care, when these songs are dropping, the Free Spirit, the Stay Scheming, the, Made Men, I'm like, yo, like, Drake is rapping different. He's sounding different. Like, there was also this song, Lose My Mind. Young Jeezy, but Drake was on the remix. I'm like, yo, he's rapping different. He's rapping more aggressive. He's way more cocky. Like, he almost sounds like a different person. Now, nowadays, we know the ghostwriting and the Drake having a bunch of dudes telling him how to rap with reference tracks, telling him, no, say the word like, not even just pinning his raps. No, say the word like this. Do this ad lib. Like, getting your raps written is one thing, but a person telling you, no, say it like this, flow like this, enunciate like this. I mean, I guess in one hand you can call that great production, but from a rap standpoint, it's crazy. But we didn't know this at the time. We didn't know anything about Drake or a ghostwriter. So to me, I'm like, yo, Drake has gotten better. He sounds better. And I like these songs. So this is how I know I'm really not a hater, because a hater will just be like, fuck this nigga anyways. Like me, I'm like, okay, I can get with this. Then the Take Care album actually comes out. Remember, I'm the furthest thing from a Drake fan that you can get to at the time. I'm the complete opposite. Dare I say a hater, but really not. Because when I heard songs that I liked, like, I'm not gonna listen to something that's bumping and just act like it's not bumping. Like, I actually bought this album. I had this album day one when it came out. I bought this album. Crazy, right? And I remember posting a picture on Facebook. That was back when we used Facebook. My friends were like, what? Like, what? Like, no way. Like, you bought Drake out? I was like, bruh, I like the rollout, and I like the headlines joint. They know, they know. I liked the motto was cool. The motto was like on some, you know, Bay Area, you know, SoCal type feel. And I really liked The Weeknd at the time. Weeknd was just, you know, catching fire, and he's all over the album. I was like, yeah, I'll buy this. And I liked the album. So this is like the first Drake album that I liked. Now, I know a lot of people really like Nothing Was the Same, but to me, and I do need to re-listen to this album, and I'm not gonna hold you. This album has some great songs. Pound Cake, great song. Started From the Bottom, great song. Hold On, We're Going Home, amazing song. The Language, great song. To me, it just always, it never connected for me. Tuscan Leathers, good rapping, but it never connected to me. So this is when, remember how I mentioned that, you know, the rollout to Take Care, Drake started sounding like a different rapper. Or I wouldn't even say a completely different. During the rollout to Take Care, Drake started sounding a lot different than what he sounded before. His rap style changed, and it's never going back to what it was before. He's only built on what happened during that era. This, to me, Nothing Was the Same, although it has great songs. And I'm not mad at you at all if you look at me and be like, you're fucking tripping. Nothing Was the Same is amazing. But this is the album where it never connected to me, because it sounds like Drake is playing like a caricature almost. It sounds like he's like almost mimicking someone else. He lost some of his early identity, like that he had built on, because Room for Improvement, Comeback Season, So Far Gone, Thank Me Later. There's this same guy that we've come to know. Love his music, hate his music, love him, hate him. This is the album where there started to be some disconnect for me. And I think nowadays, this is the issue that people have with his new music. Like those who, I guess, critique his new music. The issue that people have now, you know, the playing a role, playing characters, that's the issue I had here on this album. But great songs on here. I mean, like I said, Tuscan Leather, Started From the Bottom, even Too Much featuring Sampha, but it never connected for me. This is the album that I really liked it. And this is like an album, when it dropped, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. Everyone was listening to it. I remember walking down my dorm when this came out. The week the album came out, I was playing the album. I had to use the restroom, so I walk out. You know, my dorm is on the far end, so to get to the restroom, I have to pass like 30 other rooms. And it's a co-ed dorm, men and women, boys and girls. I'm walking down the dorm. I hear this person playing it. I continue to walk. This person playing it. I hear it coming from down the hall. Like I went to the bathroom. Somebody's playing it on their phone. Very few albums I've seen that have been as widespread as this one. And I really like this album. But again, like Take Care, like how I mentioned, it's one of those albums where you have a writer on there in The Weeknd that is not only contributing to a large chunk of the album, let's say 20, 25+% of the album, but he's also influencing the sound. Like Crew Love, that's Weeknd sound. The Ride, that's Weeknd sound. He basically built the vibe of the album. It's like I was saying earlier, there's one thing to get your raps written by someone else, but to have the person build the entire say it like this, do it like this, I'm gonna basically give you my sauce. And this album has something similar going on. It's got a bunch of Quentin Miller, and it's got a bunch of Party Next Door. Party Next Door is Brathwaite. And even just starting the album out, You see Legend, which I think is a good song. Quentin Miller, Brathwaite. 10 Bands, Quentin Miller. We've already heard his reference track. And I thought that Quentin Miller 10 Bands reference track, if he mixed and mastered that, that's a fire song. Boys tell stories about the man. Your boys shoot shots for them corner, but oil for them bands. I think it's a great song. Know Yourself, Quentin Miller. No Telling. I think Quentin Miller may even be a ghostwriter on No Telling because he's not in the credits. But that last little flow, I eat it like Alfredo pasta and do it like I'm in Mafia. That's the same flow that Quentin Miller's using on the other songs that he wrote. And then we hear Party Next Door. So like out of the first 10 songs, like only 2 don't have Quentin Miller and or Party Next Door. But nonetheless, I do like the album. I still listen to songs off this album. 10 Bands, I play that in the gym. I also like Used To, but we also know Quentin Miller. We've all heard that reference track for that song. But I did like this album or mixtape. It came out, as a mixtape, but nowadays there's really no differentiating factor. What a Time to Be Alive I did like, but I think this is just Future during his absolute prime. This is Future red hot, fresh off the 56 Nights to Beast Mode. Really like Digital Dash. I'm the Plug. I think that's one of Drake's best verses. I'm really in this thing. We got 7P in this thing. I just dropped a jig in my Red Bull and it really gave me wings. Yeah, up and away. Live from the Gut, I thought that was cool, but I could have done without this album. Anything Future dropped at this time, I was messing with. And I'm not even a big Future guy like that. Like I wouldn't even call myself a Future supporter, but he was dropping gems at this time. And then lastly, I would say, well, let's talk about Views also, because Views, although I didn't like the album, I did visit Toronto around this time, like pre-rollout, not like right before the album came out. And it was everywhere. This album, the promotion for this album in Toronto was everywhere. Like right when you get off the airport, when you walk to baggage claim, Drake got Views from the 6. That's what they called it at the time. We thought the album title would be Views from the 6. Drake got Views from the 6 promotion in the airport. You get off your flight and you walk, after you taxi and you walk, either transportation or baggage claim. He got his album promotions. Like when you fly into Billy Bishop Airport, there's like a billboard that everyone can see because of how it's oriented to the airport and how you land. It's a big ass Views from the 6 advertisement. So anybody who visited Toronto around that time, late 2015, early 2016, when you land, as you're landing, you're going to see that billboard. I've never seen advertising like that ever. But I thought this album had great singles. When you talk about singles, probably some of the best singles that you'll see on a rap album. Hotline Bling, One Dance, Controller, awesome singles. And especially in terms of performance of the singles, Hotline Bling was huge. One Dance was huge. One of my Drake got certain songs that I like. All these albums I'm talking about, I'm always reference a couple songs that I think are just great songs. Feel No Ways is one of those songs. I really didn't like how this album started out though. This is why this ain't an album, a Drake album that I would say that I like. Starts off very slow. Feel No Ways was great. Hype, it's cool. I could do without it. Western Road Flows. I know Drake loyalists, Drake fans, they love this song, but to me, when Drake does these type of songs, it's kind of boring for me. Like even the 2 a.m. in Vegas, the timestamp records and all this type of stuff, it is kind of boring to me, but I know Drake loyalists love that style from him. It's not appealing to me. And I know that's a core part of his style. That's like a core part. You get Drake, vulnerable Drake. So I understand why y'all like that. I just never like that type of music. I just don't like his music. So I'm not going to like when he does his actual thing. When he does what he's known for, it's not going to connect with me like it does for y'all. Yeah, but anyways, great singles. But I could do without it. I would say this will be the last Drake album that I liked. It's called Scorpion. And when this came out, surprisingly, I saw a bunch of Drake supporters. They were like, I'm kind of disappointed. They were saying they were disappointed by it. And I didn't understand it. And it just seems like a disconnect, you know, what I think and what Drake fans think. The stuff y'all really like, the Western Road flows, the 9 a.m. in Dallas, I don't like that. But the stuff from Drake I like the Child's Play, pause. I don't mean like that. He got a song called Child's Play, which I think is on this album. Come Through, Feel No Ways, Hold On, We're Going Home. I don't really, 8 out of 10, one of my favorite Drake songs, I don't really see them going up for that. But this did have, great songs. 8 out of 10. This is a Kanye West diss. I really never see it get talked about in any capacity, even as a diss record. This is a great song, I think. Mob Ties, we know that was written by someone else. Shout out to Vori. Nice for What? Great single, amazing single. Great Lauryn Hill sample. Blue Tint, I thought this is a good song. Ratchet Happy Birthday, I think that could have been a more hype track. You got a song called Ratchet Happy Birthday. You could have really turned that up. But we see also here, Party Next Door wrote that. I mean, again, not the greatest album, but I did enjoy this album when I listened to it. And that was like the last Drake album that I liked. The rest of his stuff, Certified Lover Boy, I've done a separate video, and I pretty much said in that video, I think Drake's fall off was More Life. Where's More Life? Right here. That's when his music just started to sound really random. Remember, we have this whole evolution from Drake, Thank Me, not even Thank Me Later, Room for Improvement, if I can find that mixtape. Room for Improvement, Comeback Season, So Far Gone, Thank Me Later. For me, that's like one era of Drake. That's Drake, all very similar. Even though Room for Improvement and Comeback Season is more backpack rap, underground type rap, rapping over, sometimes different beats. The Drake that we get, the personality, the lyrics, the style, you could tell it's all coming from a similar cloth. Take Care is where that kind of got muddied, but it's still Drake. Like it's different though, because remember that rollout to Take Care where he's rapping more aggressively. You got the Stay Scheming verse, which is a common diss. You got this Free Spirit, you got the songs with Rick Ross. But Take Care as an album, it's still got some of that. What we know Drake, from the Thank Me Later, Comeback Season days. Nothing was the same though. This is where, and I know pretty much no one will agree with me on this, but for me, to my ears, this is where Drake just starts sounding like a completely different person. And I don't mean that in like what he's talking about. I mean like how he's rapping. Nothing was the same, to put it more simply, is the album where Drake lost his personality as a rapper. Because the other albums had his personality spilt all over it. Whether you thought he was cringy or you thought it was cute how he was so vulnerable or whatever you felt about him, that kind of nerdy, awkward, but relatable Drake that y'all loved. I never liked that style from Drake. But this is the album where he lost that. That is non-existent. That's why I say he sounds like a different person. This is the album where he lost his personality. Views is probably his most anticipated album. Is it his biggest album, 6 times platinum? It has to be. I mean, when you look at the rollout, yeah, Views, 6 times platinum. He doesn't have any other album that's even close to this. A lot of people were saying in my other video that Views is where the fall off started though. I thought Drake fans loved this album. But again, as you heard me say earlier, me and what I think about certain Drake songs and albums is like the opposite of what actual Drake fans and people who love and live and die by his music think. But a lot of people who used to listen to him, they will say, no, not More Life is where the fall off started. It was Views where the fall off started. I thought Views had some good songs, but again, I'll concede to his actual fans. Then you had More Life come after that. Now the music quality is just off. Views, I think, was at least his last attempt at a cohesive album. His last attempt at making a good body of work. Because More Life was just some, as Shannon Sharp would say, bull jive. And then after that, there's just a huge drop in quality. Oh no, Scorpion, good. I thought it was good. But after that, there's a huge drop in quality. Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, For All the Dogs. There's another one in there called Dark Lane Demo Tapes. then there's a huge drop in quality. So there's this whole evolution that I've noticed from Drake. Yeah, the Scary Hours, which I don't think either of those are good. Both Scary Hours I've heard them, and I didn't think any of them were good. Diplomatic Immunity, this is just, Drake sounds like the most bored person in the world. Like someone forced him to make this song. The rapping is just so lazy, and like he doesn't even care, and all this type of stuff, right? So anyway, that's my perspective as a hater. I think by this point you guys can pretty much see I'm not a hater. Like, a hater wouldn't admit to, the songs that they like and the good qualities of the music. But by all accounts, by most Drake fans, to most Drake fans' eyes, I'm a hater. But that's a hater's perspective on Drake's music. So let me know, what's your favorite Drake album? What are your favorite Drake songs? I could probably name to you my favorite Drake songs. Drake got a song on Thank Me Later called Show Me a Good Time, produced by Kanye West. That's in my, I'll give you 5. That's one of my favorite Drake songs. Show Me a Good Time off Thank Me Later. Come Through, which I think is on Scorpion. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Come through, girl, you know we got things to do. Feel No Ways. Hold On, We're Going Home. I might give you more than 5. Child's Play, but he just fucked it up with the verse about the, Kotex going to CVS running up the mileage. But I still really like Child's Play. Shit, I got Trust Issues. We throw Nice for What in there. I'm doing this from memory too. Let's see The Ride off Take Care. The Weeknd Went Crazy. 10 Bands off If You're Reading This It's Too Late. And one more I'll give you I really like the song I'm On One. I know that's not Drake's song. He's featured on it. I really like his hook on that. But I'm not going to do his hooks. Otherwise, I would put Aston Martin music on there. And on I'm On One, all Drake did was reuse the hook from Trust Issues. Damn, let me think. What can I use for a 10th song? You know what? I'll go Headlines, number 10. All right. Now, if I were to put features in there, of course, I'll do the Aston Martin music. I'll do the Stay Scheming. But yeah, those are my 10 favorite Drake songs. Y'all got 10, which I got 3. Even if you don't like Drake, you're the biggest Kendrick fan, just still fuck Drake. What are your 3 favorite Drake songs? What's your top 2 Drake albums? Let me know. My top Drake albums: Take Care, Scorpion, If You're Reading This It's Too Late. Take Care. This is counting his mixtapes too. I don't think his mixtapes were that good, honestly. Even though it's more the type of rap I would like, he just doesn't do that rap he doesn't do that rap better than the guys I already listened to. So I wouldn't include those in my favorite. But Take Care for sure. Scorpion, If You're Reading This It's Too Late. And we could throw What a Time to Be Alive in there too. Let's be completely, fair. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.